Anybody tells you they beat Don Willis, that's a lie. I was talking to Luther Lassiter, and him and Willis were down south somewhere. And they beat these guys in this town in a couple of pool rooms they had in there. And they went in the pool room and those guys looked at them and says, "Fuck you guys, we aren't playing you anymore. And you'll never get another dime from us." And this is Lassiter telling me. He said, "So Don and I went outside town. It was all flat farm country, you know, where they grew wheat. They went outside of town and there was a road sign that said it was 5 miles to town. They snuck out there and dug it up and moved it a mile closer to town." And then they went in the pool room and bet those guys that the distance was wrong. And them guys insisted it wasn't. So they bet them. This is Lassiter telling me. So they bet them and they went out and measured and the sign was where Willis and Lassiter said it was. Lassiter looked at me and grinned. He said, "Don, shit." He said, "Don and I got him one more time before we left town." He was so pleased with that, it was unbelievable.
They knew every trick, didn't they?
Hmm? That was like Willis was down south hustling somewhere. And he'd been down there and he'd been playing with them farmers in a general store. They had tables in the back. That's usually where they were. And one of the farmers that he'd been playing with come in bitching that one of his cows died. And he wasn't going to get any money for the cow. And where Willis would think of this shit's beyond me. And the guy had the dead cow on a wagon. He was going to take it out and bury it. Willis says, "Well, do you want to make $500 off of that cow?" The guy says, "The cow's dead." Don says, "I'll give you $500 for the cow." And he got the guy's telephone number. So Willis had another guy that he was messing around with. Willis took a dead possum and threw it in the road. And when they come into town, Willis swerved to miss the possum and they went on into town. And when they got into the pool room, Willis told the guy, he said, "Did you see that dead cow in the road back there? I had to go around." The guy says, "That's not a cow, it's a possum." So Willis calls this farmer up, tells him to take that dead cow on the wagon out there where the possum is and switch the cow for the possum. So Willis gets the guy to bet $1,000 that was a cow, not a possum. So they drove out. There it was, a dead cow laying in the road. They got back to pool room. Willis called that farmer up. He said, "Okay, you can take that cow out of there now, come into town and get your $500.
And they gave the $500 to the farmer?
No, well, yeah, because he made $1,000, so he made $500 off the dead
nice.
cow. Don Willis was something else, kid. He could think of shit to do to people. It was just totally unbelievable.
Sounds like a sharp guy.
Hmm?
My grandma would have called him a Sharpie.
He was a con man.
Con man. What does that word mean? Is con man short for confidence man?
Yeah, I think they're all the same thing.
Because it means they have so much confidence that you believe them. That's why I saw that on YouTube.
Yeah, but so Willis with the dead cow in the road. Is that a good enough story for you?
That's a great story.
But the good, when you had to be there, Lassiter was just so happy about him and Willis grabbing them guys one more time before we left. Because Lassiter just looked at me and grinned. He says, "Don and I got them one more time before we left town. They weren't going to bet them anymore." Moved the road sign.
That's awesome.
I mean, I can tell it, but it was nothing like it was coming out of Lassiter's mouth.
I bet.
Lassiter was just beaming from ear to ear. He was so happy. Don and I got him one more time before we left town.
Hey guys, we got more great stories coming, but make sure you check out Garten's website. I'll put the link in the description. Bierbowercues.com. He's one of the greatest 9-ball players who ever lived, and his cues are amazing. And check out the sponsor of today's video, ProPoolAcademy.com. It's a 15-module membership website that I've created over the last 15 years, and it has everything you need to become a better player, and I'll send you a free book and DVD with your order. Also, check out my private group on Facebook, Pro Pool Academy. I'll put a link in the description. Just answer the questions and make sure you put your email in to get accepted, and I will give you some free training in your email. Okay, thank you, ProPoolAcademy.com, and let's get back to some more great stories from Garten Bierbower.
When Willis did it, where's that 9-ball at?
Yeah.
Grab me that 9-ball. But Willis broke. The 9-ball was sitting like right here. Willis had this shot on the 1-ball.
What shot? Right there?
Yeah, it was just like this. Willis looked at those guys over at the Cambridge pool room. He says, hell, he says, if I bank out 1-ball off of that rail, I can come down, hit the 9, and put it in that corner pocket. I guess Willis shot it.
Oh my God.
Put it right over there in the corner.
You almost made that.
I'm not Willis. And I can't see.
Good thing.
But the first game that Willis and I played, Willis had a ball sitting here. I forget which one it was. Nope. The 9-ball was sitting here, and the 1-ball was here. Okay. Where's that 6-ball at? There were some other balls on the table. But Willis has got the 6-ball sitting here. Now you can do this shot. Because you can shoot the cue ball into the 1, make the 1 hit this rail behind behind the 9,
Yeah.
and put the 9 over here. First shot Willis played on me in Pittsburgh. I made him call everything. He never wanted to call it because he wanted people to think he was slopping it. Willis looks at me and says, well, I could shoot the 1 into that rail, come off and hit the 9 and put it over here. But you'd think I played it. So I'll shoot the 1 into the rail, come off of the rail, hit the 9, have the 9 kiss off the 6 and go in this corner. He fires up and shoots the fucking thing on me. Oh. Bam! No. And I hit the ball, but where Willis had it, it was like that. Where'd the 1 go?
Right there on tape.
I can't do it. But he shot the 1, kicked it into that rail. The 1 come off of the rail, hit the 9. The 9 kissed off the 6 and went over in this corner.
Pretty sweet called shot there.
Yeah, he did that so people would think he was slopping the ball. That was all they thought he did. He
Right.
played slop.
Ooh, almost.
Almost, but not. Anybody tells you they beat Don Willis, that's a lie.
That's why I love you.
He could just do that. He could do that at will. You couldn't beat him. Anybody tells you they beat him, they're lying.
Couldn't you just keep him in the chair? Make him so he didn't shoot?
Hell no, the minute he shot, he never missed. And when I say he never missed, I mean he never missed.
Who built this cue? Did you tell me the story about how the Pittsburgh Pirates got their name?
No, I don't
You need
think,
to tell them.
I don't think they know that.
You feel like telling it?
Well, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Was my great uncle Louis. They were the Pittsburgh Alleghenians, and when they formed the American and National League,
I'll take that.
they broke some teams up. you know, they redid the whole structure. And when they did it, Louis had agreed to play for a team in Philadelphia. And Pittsburgh offered Louis more money to go to Pittsburgh. Now, he didn't have a signed contract with Philadelphia, but he had a verbal agreement. So Philadelphia tried to take the Pittsburgh Alleghenians to court to sue them, and it wasn't just Louis. The Bierbowers got credit for it. But there were 2 other players also that had agreed to play for Philadelphia. And they didn't have the commissioner, baseball commissioner then. So they took them to court. Philadelphia took them to court and sued them in court. Well, they lost the court case because it wasn't a signed contract. It was just a verbal agreement. So after they came out of the courtroom, the lawyers for Philadelphia were talking to the news people, and the lawyer said that Pittsburgh Alleghenians were nothing but a bunch of pirates for stealing those 2 players from Philadelphia. So they changed the name to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, that's funny.
That's amazing.
But Louis wasn't the only one, but naturally anything shady that goes down, my family gets full credit for it. Now stay there, because I'm lying about that.
So I looked this up.
That's another one of my bullshit.
I looked it up online and it's 100% true.
Really?
100%.
I don't lie.
I know you
I don't
don't.
have to lie about my family.
Cross up.
What you got there?
This is a book on Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow. I was just in Pittsburgh a week ago. I came through on the bus from Delaware.
There's the article. You can read the article on Louis Pittsburgh's. His picture's on there somewhere.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm used to mine reaching underneath to
Right.
pick up balls.
But he was my great uncle. He was my grandfather's brother.
Is this anywhere close to Coshocton,
Yeah.
where we are?
Yeah.
How long does it take?
I was thinking it's shocking from here.
About 25 minutes.
Ah, okay.
That's where I met Mr. Garten Bierbower.
In
Really?
Coshocton?
Yeah, they used to have that moose tournament over there. You'd come down and I run the lathe and repair cues and stuff there.
Oh, right on.
Met him
That's cool.
back when we was shooting pool.
It's a
I gave you the one ball for sure.
Pittsburgh. Oh, look at that. It's a great book. Pittsburgh's beautiful. I got a lot of great photos last week when I was there. Walked down by the water. On my Instagram, there's one. The very last picture in a bunch of series is me by the Yellow Bridge in Pittsburgh. On Max Eberle art on Instagram.
So what do you do? What do you do to?
Did you see that was my great uncle Louis?
I couldn't really read it too well. I need my reading glasses, but
It's online, trust me.
yeah. I filmed it. I filmed a little bit of that,
See, I thought I'd
that
get
page
that
and those
strong.
pictures.
I think that's hilarious.
The Pirates in 1893, when they occupied second place in the 12-team league, Louis Bierbower, over whom the Pirates received their name. Bierbower, whom the Philadelphia Phillies neglected to reserve, was signed by the Pittsburgh Nationals, whereupon the American Association charged the Pittsburgh club with piracy. Later, a board of arbitration awarded Bierbower to Pittsburgh.
Heck of a shot, man.
That's awesome, man. Now, let's see. It says 3, Louis Bierbower. Where is he? Number 3 up here. There he is.
Looks just like Garten.
quite a bit. It's shocking.
Right here. Louis Bierbower.
If you get my loop over there and you look at it with a loop, you can tell he's a Bierbower.
Oh, I missed it.
Overcut. Buddy, you left me nice.
That's a cut.
Yeah.
So I don't lie about, I don't have to lie about any of my family. That's like I had an aunt that was Aunt Gert,
Nice bang.
and
Heck of a shot.
she had played in vaudeville. She was a vaudeville comedian,
Oh yeah.
and in her act she smoked cigars, same kind that George Burns smoked, because women didn't smoke then.
Oh boy.
And she played vaudeville with everybody.
Wow.
She played with Bob Hope,
Oh, missing something.
Jack Benny, all of them.
Yep, right here.
George Burns,
Wow.
and forget who it was with George Burns. It was George Burns and somebody else that come into the Pittsburgh airport,
I used to.
and they were eating lunch at the restaurant where I was with a couple of friends, and I told them I'm going to go over and say hello to them. They won't talk to you. I went over to their table, and they were sitting at, and I excused myself. They looked kind of disgusted that somebody was bothering them. I says, my aunt told me if I ever saw you gentlemen, I was to say hello.
Played for about 30 years.
And
I went to a pool room.
George Burns looked up and he says, who's your aunt? I says, Gertrude Rollins. Gertrude, sit down here and eat lunch with us. So I sat there at the Pittsburgh airport and ate lunch with the two of them.
George Burns and Bob Hope.
Jack Benny and George Burns.
Man, that's cool. That's awesome, man.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And they told me stories about, because when they played vaudeville, after they were done at night, they used to go to a bar someplace where they can get dinner.
Yeah.
So all the vaudeville comedians and actresses and actors, they ran around together. Yeah, I made $200 off of that day, because I bet that they'd talk to me, the two guys I was with. And if the wife was still alive, she could verify it, because when my one uncle died, I says, oh, Aunt Gert's going to come to the funeral. She smoked cigars. And Jean never believed me. She thought I was lying about it. She said, no, she doesn't. We went to the funeral, and after we went through the procession line, Aunt Gert says, I got to go have a smoke. Jean says, she really going to go smoke? I said, yes, she'll go smoke a cigar. So Jean went out the anteroom, and Gert was sitting out there smoking one of them big cigars. Jean come back in and said, she really is smoking a cigar. I said, I don't have to lie about my family.
Nice position there.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
If I can reach it.
And a 9. Ooh, left-handy.
You win the
That's a
bet.
cake.
I get the rack. I get the rack.
Especially the photographs where they put tape on the table like this to show you the path,
Yeah,
destination of the cue ball,
yeah.
and the aiming. It's really well done.
Let me see how many of these I got.
Oh yeah, those are the Cincinnati Kid article.
Yeah.
What paper was that in?
Canton Repository.
Okay. Were you like the special contact, or did you write that?
No, I had nothing to do with this.
Okay.
Now, I knew that Willis I gotta keep one so I can get more copies.
Oh, thank you.
Sit down and read that.
Okay. I need my reading glasses.
Now, I was playing it in Pittsburgh
Yeah?
at the Hawk's Nest. There was me and Lou Batur and some other guys in there. And we had heard about the one thing they talk about. Willis beat a guy using a bar of soap for a cue stick. And when he was there, we asked him how he held the soap. And Willis showed us, he put the soap in his hand and laid his hand on the table and then slid his hand to shoot. And I had heard about Willis using one of the old short green Coke bottles for a paddle playing ping pong. And he beat a world champion ping pong player using that Coke bottle. And I knew that he used to use a shot glass for a ping pong paddle. He'd put it between these two fingers with the bottom this way, but I didn't know about the pencil.
The pencil as a pool cue?
No, it's a ping pong paddle.
Oh, wow.
And it's in that article. Take one of the articles.
Wow, yeah, I'll take it.
What's your name?
Dude,
But they talk about him using the bar of soap, and they talked about him using the pencil for a ping pong paddle. The guy's hand-eye coordination was phenomenal. I don't know if God could have beat him.
Well, if you couldn't beat him, then I don't know if God could beat him. I was surprised that you didn't beat him in your prime.
No, I couldn't beat him. It was impossible. The guy could do shit with pool balls you wouldn't believe. There's a guy up in Akron, who's a real good player, probably the strongest player in Akron. And I was talking with him once, and that was when Willis was still alive. Some guy come to town looking for Willis, and Willis was in the bar with those guys. And the guy wanted to play Willis for $20 a game. And Willis says, well, I'm not interested in playing for 20. You want to play something for 100, I'll play it. And the guy said, no, I want to play for 20. And Willis told him he wasn't interested in playing. And the kid stood there in the pool room bad-mouthing him, and he pissed Willis off. And Willis says, all right, I'll play you for 20. This was a guy from Akron that told me this. And
thank you.
so
Give me an excuse to miss.
they played for 20. Now, down south, they call it, I gotta think of what they call it. You wanted to play Southern rules.
I'm sure that.
But up north, we called
It's thinking 9-ball.
Up north, we called it respot.
Hit the 2.
That's where if you make the 9 out of turn, the guy gives you $20. You spot the 9 up and the game goes on.
Just like in a ring game we used to do in the house. If you make the 9-ball out of turn, you get paid. Or the 5-ball out of turn, you get paid and it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But that guy from up at Akron, he said, if I wouldn't have seen it, I wouldn't have believed it.
Left it perfect.
They played one game. Willis made the 9 23 times the first game.
I like the bar bosses.
I remember that story. I've told that story to a lot of people.
The guy was out $460 and couldn't get out of the game.
Right here in your back pocket. Yeah, on a wide bar box.
Yeah, but that article, that's a good article about Willis. They talk about him using the pencil for a ping pong paddle.
Maybe I'll read that article in the video as part of the video.
You can take a copy of it with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a
As
copy.
long as I have one left, I can go up and get more. It doesn't take that much to get copies.
Okay.
And that was the Canton Repository. That was in the Canton Repository. Was right before he died, and they did an interview with him. Because he would never let anybody interview him or anything prior to that. He was known as the Silent Lion.
The Silent Lion?
That's what they called him, the Silent Lion.
All right, you can
It's like
No problem with that.
we have the silent assassin Tony Robles from New York City,
It's been
and then we
15,
have Alex Pagulayan, the Lion.
maybe 20 years ago.
But I never heard the silent Lion.
Wanted to play some
That was what they called him.
playing school.
I think my friend from over in Rhode Island, that John Calise.
Yep, John Calise, great guy,
Okay,
one of your collectors.
Yeah.
that
And then I said, rack your own.
they had I think it's a paperback book.
We don't really
Isn't it the Silence or something? Lions and the Lambs.
Oh, about Pool, about Don
Yeah.
Willis. Oh boy, I didn't read that. I don't. I have
Well,
to get a hold of that.
it's about guys that hustled years ago.
Oh yeah, like there's a book called Hustlers, Beats, and Others. It's a book by sociologists talking like
Yeah, but
like an actual study.
That book is the Lions and the Lambs, talking about guys that road played and hustled.
Oh man,
I've never read it, but I think maybe one of them they talked about it. Basically, it was Willis, and then I think another one was Lassiter. You know, the guys that just used to road play.
If I can find it on Amazon, I'll put the link down below for the book. That way everybody can read it.
Yeah, it's the Lions and the Lambs.
so bad.
It was about road players, hustlers years ago.
Didn't work out.
Oh, that's interesting. Hey guys, if you want to get better at pool, you have to learn the fundamentals, practice drills, pre-shot routine, strategies to all the games, the mental game, and I have something for you that I've made over many years. It's called ProPoolAcademy.com. Check it out, and for one low price, you will also receive a lifetime access, and I'll send you a book and DVD set in the mail. So check it out, and check out another video on my channel. Join the website and the Facebook group Pro Pool Academy. I'll put a link. Make sure you enter your email to be accepted into the group. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.